A long time ago, in a quiet village beside a dark forest, there lived a kind and loving couple. Their cottage was small, but it was always full of warmth and hope. Yet one thing their hearts longed for: a child.
If only we had a baby.
Someday, love.
Time passed, and to their joy, the wife finally became pregnant. But during her pregnancy, she developed a strange craving. She wanted a rare herb called rampion, which grew only in the forbidden garden of a powerful sorceress who lived deep within the woods. The scent of that herb seemed to call to her more and more each day. "I don't know why," she told her husband, "but I feel our child growing stronger whenever I smell that herb."
There's an herb, rampion, I need it.
Please, it feels like our child needs it.
So one night, cloaked in darkness, he climbed over the high stone wall into the sorceress's garden.
Just a few leaves.
Yes, this is what I needed.
And for a moment, peace returned. But the next day she wanted more, so badly that she fell sick without it.
I need more. I can't stop thinking about it.
He returned to the garden again, but this time he was not alone. A furious voice tore through the wind. Vines twisted up from the earth surrounding him.
How dare you steal from me!
My wife is with child, and she craves this herb. I did it only for her.
Then a life must be repaid. With a life, she said slowly. When your child is born, you will give her to me. That is the price. He fell to his knees. No, please, anything but that. But the bargain was sealed. When the baby girl was born, Gothel appeared in a storm of wind and leaves. Without mercy, she took the child from her mother's arms. The girl had hair as golden as sunlight, and Gothel named her Rapunzel. Gothel hid Rapunzel in a tall tower far away from the world. The tower had no stairs, no door, only a single window at the top. As the years passed, Rapunzel grew into a bright and curious young woman. She was gentle and full of dreams, though she had never stepped outside. Every day, Gothel would visit her, climbing up the tower using Rapunzel's long golden hair as a robe. And Rapunzel obeyed. But deep in her heart, she longed for freedom. At night, she sang to the stars, wondering what lay beyond the forest. She often whispered to herself,
"These walls are all I've ever known, but my heart tells me there is more to life."
Rapunzel spent her days alone in the tower, brushing her long golden hair and dreaming of a life she had never known. She would paint on the stone walls, read the few books she had, and sing to comfort her lonely heart. Her voice was so pure, so full of hope, that even the birds gathered by her window just to listen. One evening, as the sun melted behind the trees, Rapunzel leaned out of her window and sang, her voice floating like a golden ribbon across the forest. Far away, a young prince was riding through the woods. He was not searching for glory or war, only peace after a long journey. Then he heard it, a voice unlike any he had ever heard. It was soft, yet powerful, lonely, yet full of light. "What voice is that?" he whispered to himself. He followed the song through twisting trees and hidden paths until he reached a clearing. There stood a tall tower, rising above the forest like a silent guardian. The voice was coming from above, but there was no door, no staircase. The prince stayed hidden among the trees, wondering who could live in such a place. Just then he heard footsteps. Someone was approaching. A tall figure in a dark cloak stepped into the clearing. It was Mother Gothel.
Rapunzel! Rapunzel, let down your hair!
A long golden braid fell from the window, glowing faintly in the twilight. Gothel grabbed hold and climbed up until she disappeared inside. The prince watched in shock. "So that is how one enters," he murmured. He waited until Gothel left again. And as night cloaked the forest, he stepped forward. Heart pounding, he spoke the same words he had heard.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair.
There was a moment of silence. Rapunzel had never heard another voice before, at least not one that didn't belong to Gothel. She hesitated. Then slowly, cautiously, she lowered her braid. The prince climbed, not quite knowing what he would find. But when he reached the window, he froze in wonder. Rapunzel stood before him, her golden hair glimmering like sunlight, her eyes full of surprise and fear.
I heard your song, and I had to find you.
I mean no harm. Rapunzel had never spoken to anyone but Gothel before. Curiosity battled fear inside her. Something about this stranger felt different, kind, sincere.
You heard my singing? From the forest.
Yes, your voice was enchanting.
I followed it, he said. I've traveled across kingdoms, but I have never heard anything so beautiful. Rapunzel blushed slightly, unsure how to respond. No one had ever called anything about her beautiful, except her hair, and that had never felt like a compliment. Tell me, she said quietly, what is the world like beyond the forest? The prince smiled and sat by the window beside her. For the first time in her life, Rapunzel heard stories about waterfalls taller than towers, villages full of music, an ocean so wide that the horizon swallowed the sky. She listened in wonder, her heart opening like a flower to sunlight. That day, they talked for hours. And the next day, he returned, and the day after that, he came again. Their friendship grew, softly, gently, like a seed taking root. Rapunzel began to laugh, to dream, to believe in new possibilities. The prince brought her books, flowers, stories, and hope. One day, he held out his hand to her and said,
Rapunzel, you don't belong in this tower. Come with me. Let me show you the world.
For the first time, escape didn't feel like a fantasy. It felt real.
Could I really be free?
Days turned into weeks, and Rapunzel and the prince grew closer. They shared stories, laughter, and dreams of the world beyond the tower walls. Each night, Rapunzel sang to the stars, and the prince listened, imagining the life they could have together. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the forest, Rapunzel looked at her golden braid, and then at the prince.
Will we ever leave this tower?
Soon, I'm finding a way to bring you out safely. We'll see the rivers, the mountains, the stars, together.
Hope filled Rapunzel's heart. For the first time, she dared to dream freely, to imagine running through fields, feeling the wind on her face, and hearing birdsong without walls or chains. But Mother Gothel was not blind to these changes. She grew suspicious and angry. The next day, she came to the tower and called in her cold, commanding voice.
Rapunzel! Rapunzel, let down your hair!
Rapunzel obeyed, but inside she trembled. Gothel climbed up and looked at her with sharp, calculating eyes.
You've been talking to him, haven't you? The Snown Ways.
I only wanted to know the world beyond.
You little traitor, Rapunzel's heart sank. She had never meant to betray Gothel. She only wanted a taste of freedom. In a furious rage, Gothel drew a pair of scissors and cut off Rapunzel's golden braid. The hair fell in a heap, dull and lifeless. Then, without a word, she seized Rapunzel and threw her into a faraway desert, where the sun scorched the sand and no shelter waited. Alone, scared, and desperate, Rapunzel wandered through the barren landscape. She sang softly to the wind, hoping it would carry her voice to someone, anyone, who might hear. Her dreams of freedom felt distant, yet she refused to stop believing.
My way, even in this endless sand.
Meanwhile, the prince returned to the tower, eager to climb the braid he had used before. But it was gone.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair.
Gothel had tricked him, lowering a false braid and deceiving him with a cruel ruse. Confused and heartbroken, the prince leapt from the tower in despair. He fell onto a thorny thicket, and thorns tore his eyes. He was blinded. Yet even in his darkness, he remembered Rapunzel's voice. Guided only by her song and his hope, he wandered through forests, mountains, and deserts, determined to find her. Rapunzel, meanwhile, survived the harsh desert by singing to herself, keeping her spirit alive. She remembered the prince's kind words, the stories he told her of distant lands, and the life she still hoped to live. Years passed. Then, one fateful day, she heard it, the soft, familiar notes of a voice she had never forgotten. Step by step, she followed the sound, heart pounding. Until she found him. The prince, weary and blind, turned his face toward her. Rapunzel ran to him, and as her tears touched his eyes, something miraculous happened. His vision returned. The pain, the years of suffering, melted away. "You saved me," he whispered, holding her close. "Let's go. Let's live freely together." Rapunzel smiled through her tears. At last, the world she had dreamed of.
Together, always.
I'm finally
The skies,
free.
the forests, the rivers, was waiting. And for the first time, she felt truly free.